We are following breaking news tonight. I want to let some of you all join me as we work through what we know so far. Let's see if we cannot get a setup going here as we work through this breaking news. Hello, Facebook family. Everybody come on in as we work through what we have here. Okay. As you all are joining us, just following some breaking news, you know that we have been warning you all about the excessive heat warning that is in place. We are now starting to get some breaking news into the newsroom where there is now a stage 3 emergency declared. Rotating power outages have been initiated, quote, to maintain the grid stability. This is from the California Independent System Operator. Now, one of the things that I want to let you know is that we are getting some messages from PG&E, and they said that they have been directed by the California Independent System Operator to turn off power to approximately 200,000 to 250,000 customers at a time in rotating power outages, given the strain on the power grid during the statewide heat wave. This is the first time we've seen these, quote, rolling blackouts in quite some time. The power will be turned off in rotating blocks until about 11 p.m. Power could be out for about an hour, 1 hour for each block. Californians are being urged to continue to conserve power until 11 p.m. tonight to reduce power usage as supplies run tight during this peak period today. Again, this is the breaking news that we are following. As you are joining me right now, we are getting alerts into the newsroom about this stage 3 emergency declared with the rotating power outages that have been initiated. We are hearing reports in El Dorado County that they are already starting to experience these rolling blackouts, if you will. PG&E says that they will be turning off power to approximately 200,000 to 250,000 customers at a time in rotating power outages, given the strain on the power grid during this statewide heat wave. Again, if you can, do your part to conserve. This is something that's impacting the entire state. Due to the emergency, PG&E will be unable to notify customers in advance of the power shutoffs, which could occur anywhere within PG&E's service area. That's the message that we're getting from them tonight. And so again, as we continue to follow this breaking news throughout the evening, it's a Friday, it's the weekend. Perhaps you know of people who maybe are not paying attention to the news. Perhaps you know of people who perhaps don't have access to certain news outlets. Please share. Please get the word out. Please let people know that this is something that's happening even as we speak. These rolling blackouts, something that we haven't seen in the state in quite some time. This is all because of this extreme heat wave that we're experiencing across the state. And so we indeed are asking everyone to please stay safe. Jeffrey, here's what we're hearing. They're saying that these rotating blackouts will be going until 11 p.m. and that the power could be out for about 1 hour for each block. So that's what we're hearing. Be sure to check on the elderly. Please, Jennifer, you make a good point. We want you to check on the elderly during this time. Call and notify family members. Let them know that if they can, that they need to be safe. They have not identified specific counties, and that's one of the things that they're stressing. They say due to the emergency nature of this, Pat, that PG&E will be unable to notify customers in advance of the power shutoffs, which could occur anywhere, they say, within PG&E service area. And keep in mind, this is because of the California ISO. They have ordered this. It's not just PG&E. We are getting notices in from different power companies. PG&E is one who has notified us that they are expecting approximately 200 to 250,000 customers to be impacted by these rotating power outages, Frank. And so remember, this is all because the California Independent System Operator has said that, hey, we're in a stage 3 emergency here, and that they have ordered rotating power outages, quote, to maintain the stability of the grid. One of the things that we've been trying to work through is the stages, and that's what I want to go to now if I can. So what do we mean when we say a stage 3 emergency? The ISO, that means that the ISO is unable to meet minimum contingency reserve requirements and load interruption is imminent or in progress. That is according to the ISO. They say that notice issued to utilities of potential electricity interruptions is usually given out, and that's what happens in these stage 3 emergencies. Sure thing, Frank. Raul, Chris, I'm in Modesto. Will we be affected? Remember, this is a statewide order. What we're trying to do is get out as much information as we can. What we know is that here we are at this time where they have called a stage 3 emergency across the state, saying that they are unable to meet minimum contingency reserve requirements and load interruption is imminent or in progress. That's what that means when we talk about this stage 3 emergency. One of the other things that they have sent out to us is letting us know that it's declared when demand outpaces available supply. And so that's why they have to start doing these rotating power outages. Carrie, you want to know when do you know when you're affected? Well, that's the thing. They say that because of the nature of this, due to the emergency, PG&E and many of these other folks won't be able to notify customers in advance of the power shutoffs, which could occur anywhere within the service area. And so what we are wanting to do is to alert you that things that you can do right now is to please try and do what you can to not be a strain on the system. One of the things that they stress is that this is something that they're going to be doing until 11 o'clock. They're urging you to conserve power until at least 11 p.m. tonight to reduce your power usage as supply runs tight during this peak period today. And then what they're going to be doing is they plan to be doing these rotating blocks until about 11 o'clock, where for about 1 hour, you're going to find these different locations where they are going to be shutting off power for at least an hour. We know that in El Dorado County, we are starting to hear from folks. I'll tell you a message that we are just getting here into the newsroom, where we do hear from a customer who's saying that there is a power outage in the western slope of El Dorado County. She's being told that that's going to go until about 10 p.m. Of course, she's very upset about that. Susan writing into us about that, reporting in about what she's experiencing in El Dorado County right now. And so we are working through the information even as we speak. Talk about the areas affected. This is a statewide issue, but we can tell you that PG&E has been directed by the California Independent System Operator to turn off power to approximately 200 to 250,000 customers. They're going to be doing these rotating power outages given the strain on the power grid during a statewide heat wave. Other power utilities in the state are being directed to take similar actions, okay? And so this is why we wanted to come on with you right now, walk you through what we know. We've been warning you about this excessive heat wave, this excessive heat warning. And really, keep in mind, we are just in the beginning of this thing. This starts today, and we're expecting this to go through at least the middle of next week. And so one of the things we've been stressing is to please check on the elderly, check on your friends and neighbors, check on people who may not have access to certain news outlets. We want to make sure that they are getting the information as soon as they can, just so that they can be prepared. One of the things that they're stressing is that this is expected to go until at least 11 o'clock tonight. Power could be out for about an hour in rolling blocks. There is no specific area. They cannot, because of the nature of the emergency, they can't tell you in advance if your area or when your area might lose power. But they are urging people to please conserve power at this time. And so one of the other things that I have been seeing is that many of you all have been reaching out to the newsroom, sharing kind of your reports of what you're seeing, and that we did get a message from Susan here in the newsroom who says that there is a power outage in the western slope of El Dorado County, and that she's being told that they could be without power for at least until 10 o'clock. That is the challenge. Those who depend on oxygen and medical equipment and things like that, that is certainly a good question. That's why we want to kind of alert you all of what we're experiencing, because, it comes as a shock, as a surprise. So we're trying to alert people now. If you depend on electricity for your medical equipment, for oxygen and things of that nature, check on your elderly, check on people who might be predisposed, or this might prove to be especially challenging for, and let them know that this has been ordered, that this statewide rolling blackouts have been ordered, that they're going to be happening in hour increments, and that this is something that's happening because of this extreme heat that we are experiencing. How long does this stage 3 last? That's a good question. Let me go back to what we have about this stage 3. So we're in this stage 3 emergency, right? And the ISO, what does that mean? That means that they're unable to meet minimum contingency reserve requirements, and that a load interruption is imminent or in progress, and that they have then been notifying power providers across the state to take immediate action to decrease the load on the power grid. And so as that happens, you'll start to see areas across the state that will lose power. We have confirmed that PG&E says that they expect anywhere from 200,000 to 250,000 customers to be on this rotating power outage, given the strain on the power grid. That will happen until at least 11 o'clock tonight, and that the power could be out for at least an hour. Hopefully, this is not something that we would see happen over several days. We understand that this is just kind of a singular event that is happening today, at least until 11 o'clock. But the challenge is that we are just in the beginning of this emergency heat wave, or this emergency this excessive heat warning. This is just the first day of it. This is expected to go into at least the mid portion of next week, and that's why this is so concerning, because if they're already having issues with the power grid on the first day of this excessive heat warning, what are we expecting to have to deal with through the weekend and on through next week? So these are some of the things that we are working through tonight. These are some of the information that we wanted to try to get across to you even as we speak. Of course, we'll be working this story throughout the evening. I know a lot of folks want to know about SMUD customers. All we can tell you is that other power utilities in the state are being directed to take similar actions as PG&E, and so be prepared. That's what we want you to do. We want to make sure that you are prepared. We want to make sure that you are aware. We want to make sure that you're alerting people who may not, weekend, you just kind of maybe want to unplug, so you might not be paying as much attention as you might during the week. But think about that. Think about people who who in the weekend, they just kind of turn off the news, they turn off some of those things, and they don't really pay as much attention. Be sure to let those folks know that we are dealing with an emergency situation right now, and that this is something that's going to be happening throughout the evening, okay? We're going to be following this. We've got team coverage coming up tonight at 11 on the LNT. We hope that you will join us. Of course, we'll have updates on air and online at abc10.com. This is something that we're going to be working through. Our Zach Fuentes is our live reporter. He is available to take any questions or concerns that you might have. Feel free to reach out to him on his Facebook page to let him know if you are one of those folks who's experiencing issues. Jennifer, certainly, that's right. Give mom a call, give grandma a call, give the elderly a call. Let them know about this. This is a statewide issue, Lisa. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining us. I'll just do a quick recap before I jump off here and try to get things back going as we prepare for the late news. Here is where we are. PG&E has said that they've been directed by the California Independent System Operator to turn off power to approximately 200,000 to 250,000 customers at a time in rotating power outages, given the strain on the power grid during this statewide heat wave. We're told that other power utilities in the state are being directed to take similar actions. The power will be turned off in rotating blocks until 11 p.m. tonight. That power could be out for about 1 hour for each block. We do know that El Dorado County says that they have experienced this here in California, Beatrice. Californians are being urged to continue to conserve power until at least 11 p.m. tonight to reduce power usage as supplies run tight during the peak period. You know, some of the things that they recommend is keeping your thermostat at 78 degrees. One of the things that they recommend also, not using some of your appliances if you don't have to. Just taking the steps that you can to conserve power during this time. One of the things that they recommend, and one of the things that they're saying, is that because of this emergency, Jesse, because of this emergency, PG&E and many of these other outlets, they will not be able to notify their customers in advance of the power shutoffs, which means that it could occur at any time and that they could roll for at least 1 hour. That's what's happening with these rolling blackouts, okay? And so we want you to be prepared. Again, share this news. I know it's a Friday. I know it's the weekend. We know that sometimes people just kind of tune out. But this is something that you want to make sure that you are alerting people of. Make sure that you're sharing it with your neighbors, with your, especially the elderly, people who might depend on electricity for their breathing machines and things of that nature. We just want to make sure that you are sharing the news, okay? And then be sure to join us tonight at 11 on the LNT here on ABC 10. We'll have live team coverage. Tracy is tracking the latest conditions. The challenge is, though, we are just getting started. This is something that is expected to happen on through next week, this extreme heat, this excessive heat warning, okay? So I know it's a challenging time. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and now we're talking about rolling blackouts.